Dude, that election is fucked. I got my little I voted thing. It was fucked. I live in California, right? I just voted at the Magic Castle in California. If you can fucking believe it. What's more Hollywood than that? Fucking most famous place for magicians is where they have a voting thing. Anyway, can they magic just Joe Biden automatically wins? Look, this election was fucked though, okay? The first half of this fucking election was for like Los Angeles, Hollywood, city counts. They don't say who's Democrat and who's Republican. So, and I didn't have the time to do research. I should have done research, but I didn't have the time because I've had a fucking awful month if you've looked at my shit. But if they had told me this, by the way, this is the first election ever where you're not going to know who's Democrat and who's Republican. They're not going to list it on the form for like these people. Of course I would have done my fucking research. It's insane. They didn't even list who's fucking Democrat and who's Republican for the first half of the ballot. Then I get to the resolutions. And so I just skipped it all. Because I didn't want to vote for someone who is awful. Better not to vote for someone who's awful than, so I just skip the first half of it. And then, which makes me feel terrible. It makes me feel like I'm not even like an American. I feel like I'm here living in this place because it's just the luck of where I was born. But I don't really feel like I'm a citizen. Or I'm from California or I'm from America. It's like a roulette wheel. It's like, who are you going to pick if you don't know who's Democrat or Republican? So I just skip. Then you get to the resolutions, right? And this is all the thing too. They had these really fancy screen, voting things now, like iPad-like things to vote on. So you'd think this is going to be like the most clear election ever, and everything's going to make the most sense because everything right there, it's all right there. It's a very clean screen, but no, they didn't put who's Democrat and who's Republican. That makes it like the most unclear thing ever. And there's going to be a lot more people and a lot more young people voting in this election than ever because everyone wants to get Trump out. They're going to get a biased view of what elections are. They're going to think every election is going to be this extremely intimidating thing where it doesn't even say who's Democrat and who's Republican. It's just going to turn a lot of people off to voting in the future. Okay, anyway. Now the resolutions, right? Yes, okay? I'm liberal. I'm not super liberal, but I'm like liberal, right? My grandfather was a communist who held meetings in his house, so that's where I get this from. So just yes. There's two things I did not vote yes on. One was some really weird thing about a 17-year-olds can vote or something. That seems a little unimportant. Don't want to put more money there if it seems like it's just kind of an extraneous thing, so no. And then there was one resolution about parole. It was like we're going to change parole rights or whatever. So this is really interesting because I just got fucking beat up, not just, but a little while ago now, by a fucking crazy guy on the street. He's probably going to get parole, have half his sentence, which sucks because this guy's a fucking maniac, right? So the resolution was people will, not as many people will get parole if they're crazy, right? Or not even just they're crazy, but look, even though this happened to me, this guy's gonna probably get parole, it's gonna be a stupid slap on the wrist sentence. I can't vote for this because there's gonna be too many people in the world, like fucking Morgan Freeman in the Shawshank Redemption, right? He deserves parole, obviously. I'm not gonna vote for something which is gonna further make it so a guy like Morgan Freeman in the Shawshank Redemption cannot get parole. I'm sorry, even though there was a fucking lunatic who punched me in the face and is probably gonna get parole, even in this situation with me, I will not say fuck you to parole because it's gonna take away parole from other good people, not just the guy who punched me in the face, right? So, then what? What else? And then the last thing is, who do you want to be the president? So it's just like, I had a post on Facebook, which is like, punch yourself in the face until when you look at the page, or take like LSD so that when you see the words Joe Biden, you can replace it with Mike Bloomberg or with Bernie Sanders. And so you don't really have to see the words Joe Pence as you're clicking at your form, and then go back to your fucking apartment and throw up. And then congratulations, you've just fixed or saved Twitter. Oh, Freudian slip, I mean America. So, look. This fucking election, the fucking exact form, I feel violated. They needed to send something that says, oh, by the way, unlike every other election you've ever had, half this fucking thing, it's not gonna say who's Democrat or who's Republican. That's common sense. And then of course, Kanye West, what are you doing? I thought you dropped out of the race. Your name is literally right there on the ballot. Kanye Omari West. I think you have to write him in. But no, he's apparently a vice president candidate for some other guy. And that sucks, because that's going to take votes away from Biden. That's fucked up. And Kanye, fuck you for doing that, okay? You need to... Fuck you for doing that. It's your... Honestly, if fucking Trump... And I love your music, man. I love everything you've ever done. Your music is fucking awesome, okay? I love it. I crank that shit up. But dude, you can't do shit that's gonna take away votes from fucking Biden, man. Do you remember during when the National Guard was sent in Los Angeles, and you were driving around, and we're seeing fucking people on the street with machine guns and tanks, and not tanks, but like Humvees on the street in Los Angeles? Dude, look up 1930s fucking Germany, right? Before World War II, right? And I'm Jewish, right? You're black and you're a minority, but in World War II Germany, I'm Jewish and I'm a minority, right? And that's how it fucking started, right? It slowly Hitler seized power. Go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. They'll tell you all about it, right? How slowly and very strategically Hitler seized power. And Hitler was a genius, unfortunately. He's an evil fucking genius. The most evil genius in history. And he slowly seized power in the same fucking way that's kind of going on right now in this country, right? Like, when I saw those fucking army people on the street and Donald Trump's president, dude, look up 1930s Germany, pre-World War II. Look that shit up, right? Look it up. You know? You can't, it's fucked, man. If you're taking away votes from fucking Biden, dude, I mean, fucking A, you know? You're a minority, and I fully respect that, and I appreciate that. And I'm not right now a minority because I'm a white guy, you know. But I'm also Jewish. Back in 1930s Germany, I was the minority, right? If I'm there, and fucking A, dude. Like, I don't know. It's when I saw those fucking tanks on the street, I was terrified. Not tanks, but Humvees and people with machine guns and the army. I was fucked, man. I was fucked. I almost feel like I have some kind of connection back as a Jewish person. I think every Jewish person feels this. Back to fucking 1930s fucking, you know, Germany, or, you know, pre-World War II. Like, as a Jew, every Jew, I think, has this feeling, like this terrible, awful, one of the most evil things in history, you know, happened to us, right? Honestly, it's like slavery and the fucking Holocaust. Like, the most evil fucking things ever, right? And, dude, I'm about to cry right now, honestly. Like, when I saw these fucking tanks on the goddamn street. Dude, it freaked me the fuck out, man. Fucking, here I am crying on the street. Fucking freaked me the fuck out. You know? Kanye, you made a fucking mistake, man. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. You know what, though? Look, almost 100% Trump's gonna lose anyway, but, so it's kind of a moot point. But, God damn it. Have you been to the Holocaust Museum? I'm not just talking to Kanye, I'm talking to everyone. Have you been to the Holocaust Museum in fucking Washington, D.C.? I think there's even a communist, not a communist, did I say communist museum? I mean the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. I think there's even one in Los Angeles, too. The most famous one's in Washington, D.C. Dude, go there. Look at 1930s, I already said this, but 1930s fucking Germany before World War II, how Hitler sneakily seized power. Those tanks on the fucking street, man, or the army, that fucking freaked me the fuck out, you know? And as a Jewish person, because I feel like I have some connection, you know, back to my relatives. Trump wins this fucking thing. He's not gonna fucking win. There's no way. There's no fucking way. But I was talking to my mother actually about this, and like, I got legitimately freaked out because, she was like, unfortunately, even if Trump loses and Biden wins, she was like, what if the next thing that happens, the next Republican candidate or right-winger or whatever is going to be, some guy like Donald Trump, but actually smarter? And then what happens, right? So, but that's just thinking about, like, that's just worrying about stuff that you shouldn't be worrying about now. Goddamn Kanye, what the fuck, man? I made a Facebook post before going to the election, actually, and voting, that said, like, as a joke, like, you can still technically vote for Kanye, like, write in Kanye West. But there you were, right on the goddamn thing. And I feel you, man. Like, it said that you say you have bipolar. Like, I don't have bipolar, but I've had, my grandfather actually was bipolar, and I've had depression and anxiety for most of my life. So, dude, bipolar is a terrible fucking thing in and of itself, but fucking, dude, the depths of just being depressed and never even having a manic episode, just staying depressed all the time, no matter what you do with your life, no matter how much you accomplish, no matter how much fucking motivation you have, if you're just depressed constantly all the time, no matter what, because your brain is sick, it's awful, man. I don't know why I'm fucking crying still. I don't know. I feel like I can't remember what I said. Am I rambling? Am I making sense? I feel like I am making sense. Overall, I have to say, just the way the questions were on this fucking election, the way it was set up, how there was it didn't say Democrat, Republican for the first half, so you absolutely had to do research. How you weren't told, oh, by the way, this is the first election ever where half the fucking candidates, it's not going to say who's Democrat and Republican. Just, we should tell you about that. And then, like, and then the tip of the iceberg, Kanye West is just, his name is right there on the ballot. Like, what? Oh my God. And to young people, like, I'm 33, but to people in their 20s, people, who are 18 and just eligible to vote, like, that form is not how it normally is. It always has said Democrat, Republican. Yes, you should all do research, but you should never feel like, you should never feel like you absolutely, like, no matter what, have to do research. Like, no matter how sick you are, no matter how much fucked up shit's happened to you in your life right now, you absolutely have to, like, and that's the message if they don't put that. Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. And then I'm actually gonna put this up right now. I think it would be awesome if, right when Trump loses, like, everyone in the world, not even America, but everyone in the world goes on Twitter and does a post that says, fuck you, Trump, right when he loses. Because how great would that be? He's been on Twitter the whole time, right? He loses the election, and everyone on Twitter is just, fuck you, Trump. Call me a vindictive asshole, call me whatever, right? But honestly, if there's anyone who deserves that kind of shit, it's this motherfucker right here. Okay, everybody, peace and love. Including to you, Kanye, peace and love. And I'm gonna buy your next album. No matter what, I buy all your fucking albums because you're a goddamn genius. And, yeah. Fuck Trump.